For this demonstration, I have my compressor and then I have a CD burner. So I'm compressing the audio from the mixing console into the CD burner. So we have metering that we can watch post compressor. The section of the compressor that we'll be talking about will be from here to here. This is a 2-channel compressor, channel 1, channel 2, but I have them coupled together with a stereo tie button. So any of the settings that I do here will transfer over here onto channel 2. So everything I'll do for this demonstration will be off of channel 1. We will not mess with the expander or the noise gate in this video. The different components of the compressor: threshold, ratio, attack, release, and output gain. The threshold determines where we want to start compressing. So this threshold will go all the way down to minus 40 dB and it'll go up to a plus 20 dB. So anywhere from minus 40 to plus 20 is where we set this dial for our compression to start kicking in. I like to start it at 0 dB. Our next one is our ratio. For every 1 decibel that we go over our threshold, we start compressing according to that ratio. So right now I have it set on a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every 1 dB that I go over the threshold, it compresses it down 2 decibels. Now I can turn that up as high as infinity to 1, and then I can turn it down as low as 1 to 1. Our next is how fast do we grab the compression, which is called the attack. I like to set it kind of not quite halfway between fast and slow. And then the next one is release. Once we have dropped below the threshold, how quickly will the compressor release the compression? And then our last button here, our last knob, is the output gain. This can be made up, this is also called phantom gain. This can help make up any line level loss that we need for other pieces of equipment down the chain. So as you can see, I'm talking here. When I have this green light lit up, I'm below the threshold. 0 is this yellow light. So when you see this yellow light on, I'm hitting the threshold. And then that red or that plus button, that means I'm exceeding the threshold and there's compression taking place. So I can run this dial up to plus 20 and you can see this green light stays on and we have no gain reduction right here. Or I can run this all the way down to minus 40 and every time I talk it stays lit up and you can see the amount of gain reduction that's taking place. So I like to start it at 0. 2-to-1 and a 3-to-1 ratio is great for what we want to try to do. We don't want to compress too heavy because then it's going to sound compressed, but we want it to sound as natural as possible. But you can see as I clear my throat, I'm not distorting on my metering. But then when I talk normal, talk soft, you can see I'm getting still about halfway up my metering. So I can yell 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then I can whisper, and you can see the metering staying about the same. So the goal is we want to try to get as hot of a signal as possible on our recording without distorting. So I can take my output gain and I can raise it up. There's about 8 decibels. That's too much. So there's 6 decibels. Now we're starting to get a hotter reading. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You can see the gain reduction. 1, 1, 1. And I'm not getting any distortion. But then when I start talking in a normal tone, you can see it's just fine. So this is the beauty of the compressor. It will compress the loud stuff and then allow the quieter program material to come up. If I have my release set too slow, for example, I'll surpass the threshold. 1! Now look how long it takes for that to release. Now we can go and set the release as on fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, and it's letting go as soon as I'm done talking. So we want to set that about 1/3 of the way from fast to slow. That's a good starting spot right there. So that's the basics of a compressor. This metering here is showing our gain reduction in decibels. Gain reduction is also called GR in this. So typically when I'm talking, I'm hitting 3 to 6 dB gain reduction and we're maintaining some good hot signal right here. But then when I get loud, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, I'm hitting 10 and 15 dB in gain reduction and I'm still not distorting here. So that's how a compressor works.